This week's episode is brought to you by Capital Financial Advisory Group for all your retirement needs.
Broadcasting from coast to coast, it's the Financial Safari with your host, Coach Pete D'Arruda. You'll hear from some of the nation's top financial professionals. So stick around and find out how to make it through the jungle of the financial world, right here on the Financial Safari.
Welcome once again to Financial Safari, giving you great information, actually vital information about what you need to consider on that journey to retirement. I'm Consumer Advocate Dave Perkins, along with Coach Pete's local trusted advisor, Gregg Berrian. Now, Greg, you always share great information with us every week on this show, but this is even special. It's special because you are sharing knowledge blended with experience,
and
personal
living
experience.
it.
Yeah, something you went through with your mother.
We're living it currently.
Yeah.
And looking at the things that could be or won't be, have to be, there's like, and especially when you work with, when you have a parent that's out of state,
yeah.
All the state laws are different. To make sure that you have a person that you can count on in that state who has all that information, or at least a person like here, like me, who can then ask the right questions of anybody it needs to be. Just see, my mom had a stroke about a week and a half ago. Okay, and so now she's gone into the rehab, and it's kind of funny. Well, not funny, but on a Medicare Advantage plan, generally you pay most plans pay X number of dollars for the first 5 days, and then they don't pay anything for the next X number of days. And then if you're in the hospital more than 3 days, you transition into rehab, and it's free for the first 20 days. Well, anyhow, we were told we were going to get a bill for X number of dollars. I went, that's wrong.
Yeah,
Hold on a second. Get me on the phone.
Right.
I need to speak to somebody immediately.
Right away.
Right away. So what I thought to be, it's kind of funny, I forgot all about it, the fact that Medicaid laws are very different in each state.
Okay.
And so after talking to this guy, he was unbelievably informative. He was terrific. And it was a great conversation. We got our geek speak working,
Yeah.
We understood each other. He's from New York. We had the same lingo. And as it turned out, my mom.
Forget about it in there?
Yeah, forget about it. You guys,
Right.
So it was kind of interesting because he ended up basically schooling me on the Medicaid services up in New York, which are far better than the Medicaid services in North Carolina.
Really?
And, giving me that direction to go in. So even a guy like me who thinks he knows a lot, but usually the smartest person in the room is a person who knows he doesn't know everything.
Exactly.
Right. Whereas you have to say, oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Let's take a look back here. Let's take a look at everything and see, exactly what's going on here and start doing our research. And so he gave me all this vital information that's going to be critical for my mom, which is great.
Yeah. So, that makes sense. It varies from state to state. There are different rules of the game.
You got to know it. So just say even your Medicare Advantage plan, Medicare supplements are pretty much the same wherever you go, because it's private insurance. But on a Medicare supplement, a Medicare Advantage plan, you may think, like for instance, the maximum out of pocket down here on a lot of HMOs is $3,500. Up there, $9,900.
Oh, wow.
So you got, you're working in two different worlds. That's why Medicare can be so confusing, folks, which is why you really have to reach out to us if you really want to know what you're doing, what's going on in your life. In this state, South Carolina, these are our core competencies about Medicare and about health care.
So, and what is the scenario? I guess, of course, you can liken your mother's situation where you would need to have a blend of Medicare and Medicaid?
Well, that's called a dual eligible, and
Okay.
he actually recommended not going for the dual eligible Medicare Advantage plan, but just going for straight Medicaid.
Okay.
So I'm listening to this guy. He's giving us great advice, but that's the whole thing is you want to find a local person. You need somebody who's local, which is why in 30-Minute Medicare, every agent I hire is local.
Right.
They're all local.
It's a good point because it's and as you've taught us on this show, with Medicare, it's not just state to state. It could be in North Carolina, for instance,
county to county.
County to county.
Yeah, which is why I avoided it for the first 10 years of my career. It's like, oh my gosh, 100 counties, I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
And then I kind of found myself just gravitating towards it, and it's been a great transition. You know, one thing that my parents did, you know, we didn't have a lot when we were growing up, and you know, the biggest asset they have is they have a house. Mm-hmm. And so they were very, very concerned about if, you know, when my dad got sick, when he had dementia, about him having to go to a nursing home, things like that. So 15 years ago, we moved the house from their name to our name.
Okay.
So my brother, my sister, and I now own that house. You have to do that 5 years in advance, folks. You can't say, we're going to do it now, and then all of a sudden apply for Medicaid. It ain't going to happen. That asset's on the books for them for 5 years.
Okay.
And so what's great is that house is our house. So therefore, Medicaid or the nursing home can't go after it.
But there's an additional protective component for your mother.
Yeah, exactly. She has a lifetime deed, so therefore we can't kick her out.
Right.
All right. As much as I wanted to, because I find the house, frankly, to be very dangerous.
Oh,
with
okay.
stairs
So you'd
and
like to
everything.
get her into something
I'd like to get her into something safer, but we can't do that. Mm-hmm. She has to go on her own accord.
Okay, so you can't say, "Hey, Mom, lovely studio apartment here."
But I want the payola, Mom. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's a good scenario because that way the property is, the asset is protected.
Yes, the asset's protected. Here's also a really interesting thing about that is, like, they moved that house. We'll go hypothetically. We moved that house 15 years ago. That's a long, long time ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's say the house was worth $150,000 back then, and it's worth $250,000 right now. Now, when we do end up selling that house, we are going to have to pay taxes on the step-up basis between the 250 and the 150. Mm-hmm. So there is that little bit of kind of thing which is kind of a drag. You're going to be paying taxes. Mm-hmm. Whereas if we never did move that house, and if she did pass away, and it was worth 250, and we sold it for 250, there's a non-taxable event. Okay. But you know something? I'll take that security all day long.
Sure.
I'll pony up the $30,000.
Do people know about some of these strategies? I know that's where you come in.
Well, if they talk to me, they do.
Right. That's key. That's key.
Yeah, it's a critical piece in the puzzle. And a lot of folks that we work with, they don't need to worry about that stuff because they have assets. But we're talking those people's parents. We're talking, because you got to start protecting your parents. Right. And that's what my generation, your generation, our generation is we got to watch out for our parents the best we can.
Well, and we're the sandwich generation because could still be caring for adult children even, and with longevity, our parents at the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a very trying period of time for folks.
Yes.
Trust me. Okay.
It's part of that longevity risk. There's a lot to factor in with longevity.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Sharm was the other day online saying, "Look, Greg, we can tell how long we're going to live, barring cancer or a car accident."
Oh, I don't know. You can go to
websites. You can go to websites and you plug in all the data. I think Sharm went to Northwestern Mutual and plugged in all the data. And if you plug that in, and you say, "Wow, I could live to 88 years old," and you look at your assets and you look at what you have and what's protected and what you should have when you're 88 years old, you need to do that.
Well, it certainly can help you in making some critical decisions, even Social Security claiming.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Because Social Security, if you were to hold out longer to 70 years old, then what will happen is you'll actually end up making a lot more money if you're going to live to 88 years old.
Right, exactly.
But if you die before that.
And it helps to know, although we really don't want to know. It does help to know good strategies. That's what it's all about with Coach Pete, with Greg, and the team at Capital Financial. Call the number or text the number on your screen to set up your comprehensive review.
Folks, just like a perfect pass, your retirement plan needs precision and strategy. In the Big Book on Retirement, I lay out the game plan for your successful future. From the kickoff to the final whistle, the Big Book on Retirement covers every strategy you need for a winning retirement. I break it down like a football play, making it easy for you to understand and execute my strategies. The Big Book on Retirement is your playbook to success. Get your copy of the Big Book on Retirement today and start planning your victory party with me by your side all the way through retirement. Let me tell you about the three worlds of investing. We color code money. Colors are easy for a lot of people: red, green, yellow. All right, red is risk. So the first world of money is risk, the risk world. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, 401ks, whatever. 401ks, mostly risk options, right?
Absolutely.
So anywhere you put your money that you could gain a lot of money but also lose a lot of money is called the risk accounts. That's the risk world. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. Heck, the younger you are, the more risk you should take. We've heard that too. Mm-hmm. The beauty of that and the reasoning of that is that if you're younger and you lose a lot of money, you've got a lot of time to make it back up. Now, I don't like losing money no matter what age I am. I never have, but I understand that philosophy, and I am a risk taker myself. I've been in crypto myself. You notice I don't really tell anyone to do it on the show because I don't really understand it. I put some money in just so I could try to understand the crypto world. And Chuck, here's a newsflash. I'm about 60% on my understanding of crypto, even though I'm immersed myself in it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So no matter how much you think you understand it, there's something new coming up the next day or some scam the next day that you said, gosh, I thought that was legitimate. So you have to be very careful with these crypto things. But that's also the red world. You put money in there, your expectations are, well, your expectation should be you could lose everything you put there. But what is your expectations really when you put money in the red money? Is I want to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're going up and down, you might make a lot of money one year and the next year you lose it all. So you have to be very careful. So that's the red world. The other world is the yellow world. Yellow is the medium world. That is, it means your money's not going to earn anything, but your money's liquid. So it is an emergency world.
Savings account.
So we put there, and that can be also considered in the green world as well because you can't lose the money. So the next world is the green world. So I'm going to tell you about the three worlds of money, and then I'm going to tell you about an asteroid that's very important, like Halley's Comet. But all right, so the safety, you got to have some money in the emergency account just in case the roof needs replacing or you need new tires, that kind of thing. I recommend 12 months of income in an emergency account. Now, it's not exciting. You can't earn much because the money has to be 100% liquid. So if you put it in a place where you I'll just put it in the stock market, I can get it anytime I want. So you put in, let's say your yearly income's $50,000. So you put $50,000 in your yellow account, your emergency account, but you put it in red. You put it in the stock market because you say I can get it anytime I want. Then you have an emergency 5 months down the road, and you say, Mr. Broker, give me that $50,000 back from my emergency account because I need it right now. And Mr. Broker will say, hey, your account's only worth $30,000 now. Yep. See, it's not 100% liquid. Even though it is liquid, it's not 100% what you started with. So be careful on that game right there. Green world, very important world. Green says you can't lose, and it will gain. So you're not going to get great gains, like gigantic gains, but you're not going to lose a thing. So that is the zero is our hero world, and some of the strategies there involve you get a share in the gain of the market, but you can't lose if the market goes down. That's in the green world. Now, a semi-distant cousin in the green world, because it is safe and it's very, very important, but it's not included in a lot of the green products or strategies, is the income world. That's the Halley's Comet. And this Halley's Comet comes by every single year. It gives you a financial fill-up. You have to have some money in the income world, the Halley's Comet, that's going to come annually and give you lifetime income your family can't outlive and will never stop coming, by the way, as long as you or your spouse is here. That comet will continue to come and give you that paycheck annuity. So it's the best thing for you, infinite income. I didn't say infant. I said infinite. Infinite income you can never outlive.
Our belief is a major concern is longevity risk.
I talk to some people almost every day who don't want to retire.
And that assumption is the market's just going to go up and up and up and up and up.
But once you reach 70, there's no benefit to working anymore unless you like to work.
You won't hit 80, 85 years old and run out of money.
Unfortunately, in the world we live in, there's many times where people show up to work and they're told they're not needed anymore.
Is you got to make sure you have your budget and you have your assets set up in position to take you out all the way to 110.
The first 10 to 15 years of retirement is when you should do all the fun things because there's no guarantees in life. The day you wake up today could be the last healthy day, so make sure you treat it that way and do everything you want to do when you can do it.
Memories with Grandpa.
My first job.
My fourth job.
Crazy road trips.
Our first date. Meeting our son.
Exploring our world.
Our world. Family and friends.
Our special song.
Secure your retirement by meeting with a financial advisor.
The Financial Safari News Network presents Brokers Behaving Badly.
It's a tale as old as time. or at least as old as Charles Ponzi, the guy that pulled off the first Ponzi scheme. Well, this time, the scheme was aimed at taking retirement funds from seniors.
71-year-old George McCullum, you have been found guilty of conspiracy to commit security fraud and wire fraud. 7 years in federal prison. Not only that, you're ordered to pay $5.2 million in restitution to the victims.
McCowan and his partner, Richard Gerhardt of Lowell, Indiana, sold securities to individuals who transferred their IRAs, 401ks, pensions, annuities, and even cash to a company controlled by McCowan and Gerhardt called Asset Preservation Specialists.
I promise you returns 6 to 8%.
Insured liquidity.
They even created monthly statements showing positive results, even though they were losing money.
We used the money to fund ventures in which we both had an interest.
And just to make it look legit, we used money from some investors to pay other investors to calm suspicions.
Between 2008 and 2013, at least 25 individuals made investments totaling more than $5 million. The victims only found out when Gerhardt filed for bankruptcy, listing them as creditors rather than investors.
All the victims were between 50 and 90 years old. Gerhardt pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit securities fraud.
5 years in prison and pay more than $5 million in restitution.
One more reason to make sure you're dealing with a true fiduciary and use BrokerCheck to vet them.
Go to yourmoneydesk.com. We have a treasure trove of resources on the site where you can explore concepts like this and just get to know your own retirement a little bit better as you head into it.
One other site is retirementhelpcenter.com.
Yes,
we'll put them on the screen here, retirementhelpcenter.com. Videos, we try to keep them 4 minutes or less.
We do.
Because attention spans these days are about 4 minutes or less. And so, but they explain about anything you could ever thought of. We've done them on like everything from crypto to safe money to risk money to retirement income.
Both of these sites now have multiple calculators on them, so be sure to head over to yourmoneydesk.com.
Retirementhelpcenter.com. You know, real estate's a risk. Gold and silver, believe it or not. Despite all the ads you hear, can gold and silver go down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It has been. Yeah.
And they're sold. So when you buy it, there's somebody charging you an ask price, it's called. Ask is higher than bid. So when you want to, let's say gold is at, let's just say $2,000 an ounce, just to be safe.
Okay.
So you said, I'd like to buy an ounce of gold. You call it like the broker on the internet or wherever you buy your gold from, or the pawn shop. They say, oh, great. That's $2,100. You'll say, wait a minute, it's $2,000 an ounce. He said, yes, that's if I sold it to you, I'm going to put a little commission on though.
Sure.
So if I buy it from you, I'll buy it for $2,000. But if you're buying it from me, I'm going to sell it for $2,100. That's bid and ask.
Yeah, I got
ask is more expensive. Bid is cheaper. So if you buy gold, you're going to have to hold it for a while just to get, because if you buy it today at $2,100,
right,
and then you want to sell it tomorrow for $2,000, you just took a $100 loss.
Yeah, you took a
so
hit.
you have to wait for the price of gold to go up over and above what it would cost you to sell it, the bid and the ask price. And then there's commissions on there too sometimes.
Right,
so
sure.
you have to be very careful. And if you're putting money there, it needs to be long term. It's not something you can, like a lot of times you can buy a stock today, it goes up $1 or $2, you sell it tomorrow, you make a lot of money. Not with gold or silver. It has to go way up because of the bid and ask and the spreads and the commissions and all that kind of thing. Financial termites. We don't need financial termites in plans that are for our retirement. Our retirement money needs to be growing. It does not need to be shrinking because it needs to be there for life, for us and our family. And if we have all our money in the wrong place and we're building it up, and it's fun when it's going up, but if it's all in one place and the market tanks, there goes your retirement.
Do you hear that? That's me enjoying my retirement. Traveling around the world to play golf, where I want, when I want, with whomever I want. Even got some customized clubs. Because years ago, I rolled over my IRA with the help of a local trusted advisor. Contact us to get started today. This is a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review to help educate and enlighten.
Welcome Welcome back to Financial Safari. I'm consumer advocate Dave Perkins with Coach Pete's local trusted advisor and great information from none other than Gregg Berrian. This is a great segment we had earlier on the show.
Yeah.
Talking about what you went through with your mom and so many things to consider with Medicare, Medicaid, different states.
The best health care. It's really a very delicate situation and all different kinds of angles to look at that.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Ready for a little strategy du jour?
Oh yeah, let's take my mind off this. Here we go.
Absolutely. I said this is it's a hypothetical, but it's a real life based situation. So we have Gregg, a 63-year-old man,
married, right?
Married
Yep.
man. Okay, $500,000. He has qualified. He wants to, in 1 year, at the age of 64, he wants to turn it on, income for life. What can you do for him?
Well, first of all, we're going to look at what we refer to as my friend Parker says, we call it the bread and lead scenario.
Okay.
I call it the end times or zombie apocalypse, depending on what you believe in.
Like worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
Okay.
The market goes down for the next 20 years. All right. So here's what's kind of cool about this. Now, married couple, this basically has both lives. It's insuring both lives.
Okay.
All right. Husband and wife, which is beautiful. Because if the husband turns this on and 15 years later he passes away, the wife will just be able to continue on.
Nice.
And then when she passes, anything left will go to the descendants, the beneficiaries, but if there's nothing left, there's nothing left. And as you know, we talk about this all the time, the recommended amount of money you can take out of an account, out of your retirement savings.
Generally 4%?
4%. All right. Well, in this scenario, Dave, we're looking at they're going to start drawing 5.4%.
Okay.
Which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, it really is.
If a client came to me and said, I want 5.4%, I go, then again, depends on their situation. They could be really sick. They could be very elderly. But if they're like 63 years old and they want 5.4 to 6%, I'd say let's reconsider that.
Yeah.
So, which is amazing.
And that's kind of early, isn't it? 64, still somewhat for some people. A little early.
Some people are turning it on earlier. So, as long as you're over the age of 59, that's all that matters.
Right.
That's all that matters. But at 5.4%, they're going to open up with $28,350.
Okay. All right.
Okay? And that's guaranteed for the rest of their life. Now, if this person were to pass away, the spouse would continue getting it. If they both pass away, any money left into it would then go to the beneficiaries. But let's say we extended this out to age 85 and they both have passed away.
Okay.
This thing never made a penny. It ran out of money, golly. It ran out of money about 7 years ago.
But they didn't. That's the key.
They would have taken out, all total, $652,050.
Wow.
Not bad.
Not at all. Sorry, kids, right?
Yeah.
But the main thing is they were taken care of. Both spouses.
Exactly. Did the kids earn the money?
No.
They earn the money.
No, exactly.
It's their money. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever's left is yours. I always tell my mom, check out with a zero balance. I'm good with that, Mom. It's your money. I don't care.
Last check bounce, that kind of
I'll
thing.
give you $30 for the last check that bounces. Yeah.
And when you mention those amounts, that's in addition to the other streams of income that you have.
Yeah. Let's say you have $4,000 coming in from Social Security and you have $6,000 going out. Pretty much that basically single-handedly covers your income gap.
Okay, there you go.
Allowing all those red bucket items to continue to grow and not have to worry about those until you actually have the required amount of distributions. Because if this is a $500,000 account, that means there's probably at least $1 million in all these accounts.
Okay.
Which is tremendous.
Yeah.
So now they don't have to worry about that other $500,000 that they're sitting on. They don't have to worry about that because everything's being taken care of right here, guaranteed income. So let's go on the assumption that it did work. Okay, let's say that the market did what the market does. It goes up, it goes down. But
that was worst case. I forgot.
That was worst case.
Okay.
Now at 4%. So at 4%, at the age of 73, after 10 years, you're now getting $59,872.
Wow, okay.
That's a far cry from $28,000.
And that's
Dave.
pretty much a conservative scenario on that
4%.
basis.
I think that's a moderate.
Yeah.
And so therefore what'll happen is they're going to run out of money at some point in time, and they're going to be, and once you run out of money, they're at $67,000.
Wow.
$67,000. Now it will no longer go up.
Okay.
Now it won't go up anymore.
But they're locked in at that.
But they're locked in. And so let's say they both live till 85 again. Now, they're going to be taking $1,273,366 out.
Wow.
That's what they'd have taken out.
And they didn't have to worry about it. It's going to go away.
It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
And here's the beautiful thing. Like, let's say you need like $3,000, $4,000, but you're getting $65,000. So it doesn't mean you're not going to leave a legacy behind. Now you can take that money and put it elsewhere.
Okay, good
It doesn't
point.
mean it's like disappearing. It just means you're getting it.
Right.
We're cutting you a check for this much money, okay?
Yeah.
And so therefore you can do what you want with that money. That's the beautiful thing about it.
It really is. You know, it's relatable, and the important thing is it is doable. So if you want to come in and talk about how it can work for you, be sure to call the number on your screen or text to get on the calendar. And get on the calendar with professionals that, like for instance, the team at Capital Financial. You focus on that critical phase of life called retirement and everything that's necessary. Why should you work with a professional? Number one, your experience. How many people have you helped retire?
Why did I need a professional?
Exactly.
I
in your
need a
case
professional.
earlier.
If I need a professional,
yeah,
you need a professional, okay?
Right.
Because, you know, especially, you know, if I was in my own state, my own comfort zone, I know, all righty? Whereas, you know, if you have, you know, folks, you know, I mean, different parts of the world, different parts of the country, you need somebody in that area who knows that area, which is why if you live in North Carolina, South Carolina, we are the professionals for you. We know how to take care of things. We cover everything. We take care of the assets under management, basically our red bucket money. We take care of the protected money, the green bucket money. We're not a bank. Okay,
right.
So we'll leave that to the bankers. All right.
On the
we take care of the
money.
Social Security. We take care of the health care product. You know, is it Medicare? Is it Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act? What is it? Whatever it is, we will design a plan and a program for you and your family to get you through the rest of your life.
Yeah, number one, I can't imagine going it alone with retirement planning. But I also think too, the time you would save people.
Oh, goodness gracious!
You can get your hands on
We've
things.
already done the research.
Yeah,
I already know where to go. You know, I already work with the best companies, the best opportunities for our clients, as does everybody in our company does. We already have done that. We've already done the legwork for you. All you got to do is come in, sit back, tell us your story.
Right.
That's the best part I love about my job, Dave.
Yeah.
I love hearing everybody's stories.
And everybody
Sometimes
has a
they're really
story.
cool, sometimes they're heartbreaking.
Right. But you help them either way. You find a way to help them get what does everybody want in retirement? Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Yeah. And then fun.
And health.
And then fun. And health, of course. That's probably number one.
It does become. Yeah. I say peace of mind and health are running 1-2, you know, depending on the day.
Yeah, they're pretty close on that. It's comprehensive planning. It's holistic planning. You can actually get a look at yours. What does yours look like? That's what you can find out in this comprehensive review. It's available if you call in now at no cost, no obligation. Call the number on your screen, text. Most important thing is get on the calendar so you can see what your retirement could look like. And thanks so much for joining us on Financial Safari.
I've been in the financial arena for 32 years. I have a staff with a combined experience of over 100. We're going to educate you on our webinar coming up, folks. Tune in shortly.